Hey guys, how are you? Vladimir Ribakov here from Traders Academy Club. This video is a weekly performance review of sRs Pro and sRs 2 for the previous week, which is 25 to 29 of November. As you know, every week we review our trades that we took and explain the logic behind it. The purpose of this video is educational, to show you the steps we do in our trading. As always, we first of all pre-analyze the market to choose the instruments we want to follow best based on our analysis, and then we are waiting for the system to alert us and to trade in this direction. So right now I would like to review these trades and explain them. The first trade we took was the dollar versus the yen. The pattern here is pretty beautiful and a bullish trend structure. We stand here for 3 higher highs, 3 higher lows, bullish trend definition, and provide us here 2 waves correction. Small one, but 2 waves correction. As we can see, all the higher time frames are fully bullish. Sentiment and momentum of the sRs Pro is bullish as well. The general analysis that we had, now it looks like crashing, but the previous week, the general analysis was a bullish hidden divergence from the daily time frame and the 4-hour chart bullish divergence as well. Moreover, this trend line was breaking and the sRs started, the dollar yen started to gain higher highs, higher lows to the play again. So the view we had, there was no bearish divergence and nowhere on the developing part, and we expected that to continue until the bearish divergence would be developed and completed both 4-hour and the daily. So that was the dollar yen, and in that case it delivered a beautiful profit. Next trade we had on the list was the dollar CAD. As you can see here, we are in ABCD pattern and a breakout. Beautiful combination from the higher time frame, beautiful read. What was the analysis we were relying on? Dollar CAD, based on the daily time frame, we had this place where we expected the price to reach, basically something like that. And here we were developing a cycle with expectation to push higher until divergence would be created. And the 4-hour chart supported our view here by basically having 3 higher highs, 3 higher low for us. It's a classical bullish trend combination. At that moment we did not have any sort of ending divergence. It formed later on, so we were looking to go and to trade it. Unfortunately here it failed and we hit the stop loss. The next one was the dollar franc on the buys. Small, but basically you can see here a classical bullish trend pattern. Sorry. Here, bullish trend pattern, and then we are into a ranging structure. We are holding a massive zone, holding the trend line, rising trend line. Watching on the higher time frames, what we can learn as at that moment we were in a rally, no bearish divergences were in play. On the 4-hour chart we got the same scenario, pullback, no divergence finishing the rally, and basically we were creating the bullish structure as by itself. So we expected to see a new high until divergence would be completed 4-hour and the daily, and that was our trade. First target hit, second closed on break even. Later on the pair gained the momentum, but this specific trade ended up like this. Next one was the New Zealand dollar. It was a loss, but the logic here was to ride with the momentum, and I will explain. Previous week with some positive environment and news. Before we got the classical trending pattern and sort of a range, and we were looking to trade this breakout, which happened, but It happened a bit later, and we were looking to get out of this triangle and expected this to continue with the momentum. As you saw, it happened, but a bit later, and unfortunately here we finished with a loss. Next, dollar franc, again same analysis, so I'm not going to explain the higher time frame view. This time we got a deeper ABCD, still expecting that to push higher as there was no divergence in play yet. We were late a few candles for the entry because this was the breakout. We saw that a bit later, so we got it a bit later to the play, and here we are reaching the target. The pairs, as you remember, the pair continued even higher. Dollar versus the yen was a quick scalp in that case, in a quiet hours. That was the Asian session, and the pattern here is the 3 higher highs, 3 higher lows with 2 waves correction and the breakout. The analysis stands for the same line before. We expected the new high and under the bullish pressure from the higher time frame bullish divergences, and we got here the first target and then the break even. The next one, pound CAD sell, was in a massive, and you can see here the control of the bearish pattern, how many bearish candles, and they are massive bearish sRs candles, as you can see. Classical combination from the higher time frame read of the sRs candles. Momentum and sentiment are beautifully bearish, and we got the ABCD correction for the breakout. Beautiful run, and in that case paid. What standed behind it? Pound CAD reached a massive zone of the daily cycle with a fabulous divergence. The pressure was very bearish. The 4-hour chart was fitting in classically, delivering one move, and we expected to see correction or developing a bearish trend, which still didn't happen, but we expected to see at least a correction, and that's what we were looking to trade. On the lower time frame, we got here a bearish hidden divergence to provide us the opportunity to ride down, and at that moment here we did not have any divergences to stop looking for the sells, and that's why we got this beautiful opportunity to continue right here, 27s, right here. No divergence that stops us. We expect to see a low until divergence will be created, and eventually, actually it really happened. We can see we pushed down and divergence was created, both 1 hour and then 4 hour. But as you can see on the setup, no divergence in play. We expected the push and we got it done. Yes, we got lucky in that case because the divergence could be completed, of course, a bit earlier. Well, in that case it would be a loss, but as I always say, we trade facts, and the fact is that it was bearish without divergence against, and of course a beautiful opportunity to trade. Next one was the pound versus the yen. Classical bullish trend pattern, developing higher highs, higher lows with 2 waves correction, double bottom, and the breakout of this pattern. Also, we can see we start to gain the higher highs, and this pair delivered great profit. What did we have on the general analysis on this one? The 4-hour chart broke the trend line and expected to see higher highs based on the daily cycle that we have here. So we expected to go for new high, and the 1-hour chart at that moment is a bullish bullish divergence, classical setup of a structure, 2 waves bullish divergence fit in the 4-hour chart breakout, as you remember, and a retest, and that's pretty much it. We don't need more than that, and this pair, as you see, delivered big. CAD yen, 3 higher highs, 3 higher lows in play for a massive trend, 2 waves retrace and a breakout of a ABCD pattern. What stands behind here is the same pressure like all the rest of the yens that we discussed. We are developing here a bullish trend. No divergence yet. It was created only later. So buy retraces is still the plan in an ongoing trend. Higher highs, higher lows without any divergence against. And we traded it. And in that case also turned to be successful. Dollar yen with the same analysis as explained at the beginning. Now another ABCD pattern here that was developed in another new trend push, higher highs, higher lows, fitting in the previous analysis 4 hour and daily, was not under divergences yet, and long story short, finished up with a trend. I want to see you to see the combination when the momentum and the sentiment fits in a bullish trending like this trending conditions with corrective cycle, and the higher time frames fit in perfectly on the sRs candles as well. This is a very strong momentum. Quick read to make sure we do not have signs against on a divergence, and boom, we have with a very high probability a great winner. And that's where the main power of the sRs, to spot these places where the trend exists and give us super high probabilities of turning it into the winner. And the last one, Australian versus the New Zealand, bearish trend in play without any sort of doubt. ABCD correction and a breakout to the downside. First target delivered, second was break even. The analysis here was very simple. We were developing the momentum and we did not have any reversal in play yet. No higher highs, no convergences against, and the idea here was to ride the sell as it develops. It's still ongoing, by the way, and that's pretty much it. That was the reason of the sell. And on the sRs2, we didn't have active wick due to personal reasons of our guys, but the one that was spotted was the Euro-Australian versus Euro versus the Australian. The idea here is basically the lower highs, lower lows, 3 lower highs, lower lows in a bearish trend with 2 waves correction. We expect it to continue lower, at least to reach the 50% zone of this triple cycle. So basically what we expected is to get deeper 2 waves. That was the decision to trade, and in that case it started good, finished not so good for us. So previous week wasn't really successful, but also we couldn't give more time and trade it, unfortunately. But the sRs Pro was under very good opportunities and delivered wonderful wonderful trades. So that's pretty much it. I would like quickly to remind, for all those of you who have the sRs Pro copy, don't forget to join us in our sRs Telegram channel. You can find the link inside the members area. Join us there, and you would see here a lot of great opportunities we share in the community, pairs to follow, how they work, all the questions you can ask and learn with us together. We are there for you. So once again, all those of you who watch the video and have the access to sRs Pro, join us in the Telegram group. Those who don't have, you can find more details about sRs, how to get it, including the free option with the brokers program, right below this video in the description or in the pinned comment. If you have any questions, we are available for you. You can contact us, support@vladimirribakov.com. You can find also the information on the website, and I'm looking forward to continue and help you with the sRs Pro. And remember, in trending conditions with support by sRs candle, sentiment and momentum, without divergence against you, your chances to get a winner are very, very high. You can see that on the sRs Pro itself, on the performance and on the reviews. And that's all. I hope you find this video helpful, educational, and as always, thank you for your time watching this video. I'll see you again in the next week. Yours, Vladimir Ribakov, Traders Academy Club.